Breathe. Fresh air for young minds.
Anxiety. We all experience it. It's a feeling that we can all relate to. But what is the difference between anxiety and stress? See, we need stress. Stress is what helps us rise to challenges and perform. However, stress is a tricky thing to control. When we struggle to control stress, it can turn into anxiety. Okay, so what is anxiety then? And why did we develop anxiety, especially when it makes us feel so uncomfortable? To understand why we developed anxiety, we need to look at our history and how our brains evolved. Anxiety is a survival technique our animal ancestors developed millions of years ago. It was originally a response to danger, something we call the fight, flight or freeze response. It's all to do with three major parts of our brains: the amygdala, let's call that the meerkat of our brain, the hippocampus, let's call that the elephant of our brain, and the prefrontal cortex, or the wise owl of our brain. So, what do these parts of the brain actually do? The amygdala is formed first. Even before we are born, it's there. It's connected to our survival and everything that keeps us alive, like breathing and our hearts beating. That's all down to our amygdala. We can think of our amygdala as a meerkat because it's always on the lookout. It's as if it is tense because it's always trying to keep us safe. Then comes the hippocampus. The hippocampus really likes to store memories, particularly important memories like when we were scared or happy. We'll call the hippocampus the elephant because it never forgets. The elephant helps out the meerkat by reminding them of things that it remembers were dangerous. The last part of our brain to develop is the prefrontal cortex, which we'll call the owl of the brain because it's super wise. Our owl is connected to our thinking and language skills. We use the owl to help us consciously think and control how we feel. But what do our meerkat, elephant and owl actually have to do with anxiety? Well, our meerkat is always on the lookout for danger and ready to let the others know. It's very good at recognising tigers as dangerous. But the modern world is messy and the meerkat can't always tell what is dangerous or not. Is that little spider dangerous? Is that group of people across the road dangerous? What about that shouty person, or even next week's exam? The meerkat can't always tell, so it lets the elephant and owl know about everything it sees or hears about. The elephant's job is to be ready to set off our fight, flight or freeze response when it hears the meerkat shout, unless it's told to stand down by the owl. So sometimes our owl needs a little help to be heard, and this is when using exercise or learning about mindfulness and other ways of relaxing the body can help the owl to keep everything running smoothly and keep our stress response healthy. So, if you start feeling anxious, then remember you are not alone. Use the animals to remember what anxiety actually is and know that we can learn to manage it to keep us healthy, happy and safe.
Breathe. Fresh air for young minds.